Welcome back. It is Saturday, March 23rd in the NBA. Our two best bets are on the way. It's Austin, joined by Logan. Let's do the least favorite part of the day, a recap from yesterday, an 0-4 day. It feels like we haven't had a winning day in about 3 years, Logan. Now, obviously, you see the record at the bottom of the screen, still up a lot of units on the year, but going through a cold stretch like this is just, it demoralizes both Logan and I. It is tough to wake up and come on here and pitch picks to you guys when they keep losing. And I speak especially for myself because props have not been dialed in March. We just have not had any success. I don't need to go over all the picks. Day one of the ladder loss, that's retired for a little bit. SGA just didn't come through. Maxey, I think he went 2 for 6, scored 6 points. And then the Warriors minus 4.5. They got smoked in the second half. Just a demoralizing day for Logan and I, but you know what? We're not quitters. We're going to get back on the horse. We only have 2 picks, each of our play of the day. We're not going to get too cute and add 3 or 4 or 5 picks. No, just 2 picks, one from each of us. Hopefully we can go 2-0. A side note, if we manage to go 0-2, we will give away $200, $100 to 2 random people. All you got to do is like, comment, and subscribe. Simple as that. Comment whatever you want below. Maybe your favorite pick of the day. Maybe something you're thankful for. Maybe your favorite, I don't know. Comment with something. Whatever it is. Like, comment, subscribe. But we ain't going 0-2, Logan. We ain't doing that. We're going 2-0 today. We're bouncing back, and we're going to switch up the mojo, try to switch up some things, be a little superstitious. We're letting you lead things off with your game pick of the day. What you got?
Yeah, we are switching it up, and we're not going 0-2. But, on the off chance we do, go ahead and drop a comment and subscribe to our channel. But my favorite pick of the day is not losing today. I'm going to the Raptors and Wizards game, a great game, a game I'll be watching today. I'm taking the over, 231.5 points, minus 112 odds on DraftKings. Currently, your best value there. I would play this one up to 232.5, maybe just even 233. I just don't really know where this line's going to go. You never know with these totals. You could get it in the morning at 231. It could be 235 by tip-off, or it could be 228. You just never really know. But the previous matchup between these two teams, they split once to the over and once to the under. This is their first matchup since December, and I'll just say, looking at the box score, these teams look a whole lot different than their last matchup in December, especially this Raptors team. I mean, hello. Name me their starting lineup. I bet you can't. Just like us, though, the Raptors were horrific yesterday. We hate to admit it, but the Raptors were somehow even worse. They played at a high pace yesterday, but had 27 turnovers, the most since 1997, giving Oklahoma City 37 points off turnovers. Now, why do I bring up that? Because at a high pace with high turnovers, that's a recipe for an over, especially against a Wizards team that plays fast, and they're kind of careless with the ball themselves. Honestly, what I don't want this game to be is a half-court set between each of these two streaky offenses. I won't call the Wizards that bad, but they're both very streaky. I want this to be a fast-paced game. I think that's what we get. We look at the injury report in this game. We got Gary Trent Jr. and Emmanuel Quickly, both game-time decision. Now, I'm kind of forecasting. I'll pretend that both don't play for the sake of this pick, because if either of them do play, I think that would be a huge bonus to this pick. But I'm not really banking on either of them playing. The Raptors team is still able to put up points on zero rest this season, averaging 113 points. They're not a terrible offense on the back end of a back-to-back, but even for us, they're a horrible defense on the back end of a back-to-back. The Raptors are allowing an average of 122 points to opponents on zero rest. That's what's happening today. They're traveling on zero rest to Washington, facing the Wizards, and I think this is a terrible spot for them, especially defensively. You look at Kuzma, Tyus Jones, Jordan Poole, they should be able to get to their spots against the Raptors defense that just looks flat out lost. They're allowing an average of 119 points per game to their opponents in their last 3 games. I mean, if you watched that Oklahoma City game last night, which we had some skin in the game for SGA, I watched some of the end of that game. I was shaking my head like, what is this? I cannot believe this is an NBA defense. Dribble penetration, just everyone just doesn't really know their assignments. That's what I think the Wizards will definitely capitalize on today. This game has the makings of a track meet, especially because the Wizards are first in pace and they play fast themselves. They should be able to get up and down the court, score quickly, and with an offense that simply can't execute in the half court, I think Toronto is going to have to play at that fast pace and in transition too. The Wizards are 24th in fast break points allowed and dead last 30th in opponents' points per game. With a bad jump shooting team like the Raptors are these days, I think that's what you the recipe for success. You got to go to the paint. You got to get some points in there. You got to get layups, easy, high percentage looks. I think that's what the Wizards do, and I think that's why there should be points on both sides. The Wizards are 30th in points in the paint per game allowed. The recipe for success for this over: fast paced, easy scoring. I think that's exactly what we get in this one. I really do love the over between these two teams. Now, I was joking when I said I would watch this game. Obviously, we got March Madness to watch. There's no way in hell I'll turn this game on, but I will look at the box score, and I will be seeing a lot of points come our way. Give me the over in Raptors versus Wizards. But Austin, where are you going for your best bet of the day?
Same exact thing for the Raptors. The Wizards have some injury news too. Jordan Poole is questionable. Hopefully he does play. I don't think Tyus Jones is playing, but I still like the pick. I mean, I think they're going to be playing fast just like they always do. Just hopefully we see some guys knock down some threes, because that's kind of how these over-unders go. If the team shoot well from three, you're going to cash the over. If they don't, you're going to probably cash the under. But I saw the Raptors yesterday, and you're right. Their defense, I don't know what the hell they were doing. They were literally, they'd play like a 2-3 zone, leave everyone open. The only person they actually defended was SGA. They just double him on drives, and Gordon Hayward, everyone else was getting free wide open looks. But enough of that rant. I'm going to go to my favorite prop of the day, and this guy that we haven't had the best track record on this season, but I really like his spot tonight, and it is Nikola Vucevic of the Chicago Bulls, over 17.5 points, minus 115 on FanDuel. I like this at 18.5. However, if you are looking at an 18.5 line, take a peek at his over in points plus assists. It's 20.5. Vooch is normally good for 2. Sometimes he gets you 3, 4, 5, 6 assists, so you definitely could look at that. But I like the points in terms of I expect him to score 18 points tonight. Now, obviously, this is my only prop of the day. It's my favorite one. Obviously, going to a guy like Nikola Vucevic, kind of out of left field, but I really like his matchup, like I said, tonight against the Boston Celtics, who are on the back half of a back-to-back as well. Now, since January 31st, obviously, this has been a big sample size. A lot of these, most of the games, I think all of them are actually without Zach LaVine. Vooch has played in 22 games, averaging a little over 20 points per game. He's actually hit this over in 16 of his last 22, about 73%. Biggest thing, though, he's averaging a lot of field goal attempts, 18.3 field goal attempts during that time span. And at home, he's over in 8 of 10 games in that time span. So he's been really good at home, and that's kind of where we want to back him here. Now, obviously, we look at a matchup against the Celtics. Celtics, one of the best defensive ratings in the NBA, and what they normally pride themselves on is, hey, we're going to make you go one-on-one to beat us. And obviously, you worked yesterday against the Pistons, a team that really doesn't have the capabilities of going one-on-one, especially when Cade's struggling. But also, we look at the Celtics, like I said, on the back half of a back-to-back. There's no chance their whole starting lineup plays tonight. I would not be surprised if they're resting guys left and right. Maybe Tatum plays tonight. Maybe Brown takes the night off, or maybe I know Kristaps probably doesn't play because he played yesterday. Maybe Cornette or Horford's in there at the center position. And I really think this is a spot where we see the Bulls play competitively. I mean, we saw in their last game against the Rockets, DeMar DeRozan got ejected in that one, and they did not obviously cover a 7.5, 8-point spread there. Now they're back at home, only getting 7.5. I think a lot of people will probably lay Celtics, put them in a money line parlays and things like that. And while I'm not saying, hey, the Celtics lose today, they'll probably beat the Bulls. The Bulls stink, but I think the Bulls keep this one close, and hopefully it's Vucevic doing his work, and we've seen him actually have success against this team. Now, we see Vucevic, he's over this line in 8 of his last 9 home games when he's played 30 or more minutes, which he should easily play 30 minutes tonight. And his only miss was actually 17 points. He's been really consistent getting close to this line. And when he's seen his last 8 games versus the Boston Celtics, when he shot 12 or more times, which should be pretty easy for him to get tonight, he had a really good track record, scoring 29, 18, 27, 13, 18, and his last 3, 24, 21, and 22 points. So, look, he's had a pretty good track record against Boston. Obviously, you don't really want to read into a lot of the games, from several years ago, because it's a much different Boston Celtics team, but he's hit the over in their last matchup, scoring 22 points, and that was on February 22nd. He shot 19 times in that game. So we had the field goal attempts there, and I expect him to continue to get, 15 to 18 field goal attempts. If he gets any more than that, he probably easily cashes this over, but this is just a spot where I don't like a lot of the role players for Chicago. We know the Celtics, what they really limit is catch and shoot 3-pointers, and so they're going to make guys like DeMar DeRozan kind of go ISO on them and beat them, and I think Vucevic will be the guy setting screens there, and I think Vuce will pick and pop in that mid-range spot, and I think he gets those open opportunities. Celtics don't give up a lot of 3-pointers, but that's not Vuce's game. He's not shooting a lot of threes. It's mostly, the mid-range kind of pick and pop, or maybe getting it at the free throw line and driving in and scoring there. And I don't see him being doubled in those positions either. We just saw James Wiseman score 23 points against them. And obviously Wiseman's game a lot different than Vucevic, but I really do think that we'll see Vooch get his open opportunities. And if he gets, 14 to 18 field goal attempts, I can live with this one. I think this game's close. I think he plays 30 to 36 minutes. And I think he's going to have a good opportunity to get over this line. It kind of, Vooch, you kind of know what you're getting out of him in the first quarter. So hopefully he starts off pretty hot, but I just don't see a big day coming from the role players. Ayo Dosunmu probably struggles today because he's been too scorching hot. Kobe White's been coming off the bench, at least in their last game. So I really like Vucevic tonight. Give me his over 17.5 points, my favorite prop of the day. But Logan, do you have any final thoughts before I sign out of here? Is there anything else you maybe looked at, or maybe any March Madness picks you got for the kids?
As far as March Madness, I love Oregon today. I will just say that I do bet March Madness on the side. I will never come on here on the videos and pretend like I'm an expert on that though. So not that. And I also an NBA pick that I looked at, and you could do whatever you want with this information. I wanted to fade the Orlando Magic again today, and I just didn't feel like coming on here on a cold streak.
Logan wakes up and wants to fade the Magic. That's just what he does.
I mean, it's true. I do think that spread looks highly suspicious, though. Like, if you look at the Pelicans spread last night, Austin and I called it before the game. We were like, missing Brandon Ingram. Why are they only 3.5 point dogs? Yeah, they smoked the Heat. This is one of those things, too. The Magic have been so good against the spread. You got a Kings team that's been looking bad recently on the road in Orlando. That looks like a Kings win to me if I've ever seen one. So, but you know what? I'm not just going to put on my contrarian hat when we're on a cold streak. I still think that's a solid look there.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong about that. And speaking of March Madness, that Michigan State North Carolina spread is very suspicious with Sparty's getting 3.5. I'm not saying I like Logan and I said we don't watch a ton of college basketball. Heck, I've watched more in the last 2 days than I've watched all year long, and that's not even close. But I don't know. March Madness is obviously a lot of fun, but we need to dial in these NBA picks. So Vucevic, we need a big night. And Raptors and Wizards, go make some shots. Go give some easy points to your other teammates and stuff. We are going 2-0 today, but like we said at the top of the video, if we somehow go 0-2, we'll give away $100 to 2 random people that like, comment, and subscribe. But go do those things, but hopefully we aren't giving away money, and hopefully we're going 2-0 tonight. So Logan and I are signing out. We'll see you guys back on Sunday morning, hopefully recapping a little 2-0 day, because we desperately need it in the worst way to build up the morale. But we are signing out. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.